Okay, so the second task, well, we can take a look at it now. So I explain how to do it. We'll discuss that, and then we will write. You can write it at home, so we can take a look at it. But first, let's check out our task 1 writing. So how did it go? How much time did you spend on it to finish writing?
Actually, I didn't time myself, so I don't really remember. But as far as I can remember, like I think it didn't reach like I didn't write it up to like an hour or so. So yeah, I think it was not that fast as well. So maybe like actually I don't remember. So maybe I will write it again and then I'm gonna time myself
So
because
the most important thing here is to time yourself. There's like shouldn't be even a discussion about that, right?
yeah.
Because if you write task 2 within more than 20 minutes, even 21, that is unacceptable, right?
Yeah.
So
I see
that's very
one.
important to keep in mind. Like, there's not much to talk about. It's just timing is the first thing we need to get out of the way by just agreeing that you will never ever write task 1 or task 2 without a timer. And if we discuss it at home, you reduce the timer accordingly, like depending on how you feel, what feels fair, right? For example, now if you discuss task 2, you would need to write it within like 30 minutes instead of 40. Yeah. And that's what should be done with the students as well. Basically, okay, if they have a lot of time until the test, then you can start slower, like just let them write. Especially if they are completely stuck, okay, no timer, then they can write slower at home or in the class. But normally, it's just timing always.
Okay.
We're teaching a lot of students, and even some of my most successful students, they sometimes tell me that, like, or at home I gave myself 1 extra minute or 2 extra minutes, and that's still not good enough. It should always be exact. And when the student actually had a mock test with a strict timing, the same student who used to give herself like extra minutes, she failed in task 2 because she was too stressed. Well, I guess not really used to having such strict timing. What do you think about that?
I actually like I think I feel the same as well because I'm not really that like let's say I'm not used to the timer as well, or maybe it became like it's my thing as well. Whenever there's timer, especially if I can see it in any kind of tests, actually, since I was like young, whenever I take tests and then I can see the timer and the timer is like let's say for example 5 minutes or so, I feel so nervous right away. Like I'm palpitating and stuff like that.
But it shouldn't be like that, right? The point is that you do it
Yeah.
at home so many times that the timer stops bothering you, right? It just
Mm,
becomes a second nature. Okay, there's the timer, whatever, like I know what to do every minute. Yeah,
yeah.
that's what we need to do. And for that, you need just keep writing. You said
Mm-hmm.
you like writing. This is the best way, especially in class 2, you have a lot of creativity there, like a creative outlet for
Mm-hmm.
you. And it's very useful for you, for your English, for anyone, any person who wants to write or speak intelligently in English. That's a must, right? So it's a really good training. Even if you don't want to be a teacher, even if you don't, I don't know, want to teach IELTS writing, it's still going to enhance you as a person, right? Just being able to put your thoughts on paper in a structured way.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great way to improve in general. And especially if you're a teacher and you teach IELTS, this is it's like any kind of English you teach, it will improve. Your skills will improve significantly. Now we'll take a look at the British Council IELTS a bit later with the task 2. But just to remind you, so the task 1 is the first task is 20 minutes, formal style, and 150 words minimum. Yeah, and let's check out your current writing. You sent it in Zalo to me, right?
Yeah, I actually can't find it. I'm not sure. It's
Sorry,
right.
what?
I mean, the task that you gave me,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I couldn't. I mean, the link, because oh no, I didn't write it on the link.
So,
Here.
yeah, I see you've rewritten it as well. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's great. With the corrections, so we're going to put it here as well. Well, we could actually take a look at it. Yeah, let's just look at the corrections, because that's enough already. So that's a corrected essay, right? You just looked at the corrections and if you've rewritten it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You don't have to separate the first introductory paragraph into two, but it's minor. It's like whatever. It doesn't really matter that much. What do we have? Have you counted the words here? I think it's
Actually, I did.
160 or something, 170, I think, 180. And when we write within the 20 minutes on paper, we also need to, what do we need to do at the end?
Count it or
Yeah.
check it. Check, like,
yeah, check and count. So you need to leave time to review within already a short time to write. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You need to write immediately, right? That's the best way. You look at the graph and you start writing pretty much automatically. You don't have time to worry, contemplate, just start writing. So here we have the line graph displays. How can we paraphrase that? The first part.
The line graph. Should I always like start with, like, for example, like the chart, or like should I always start with that one?
It's great to paraphrase, to just show your ability to use different words. Variety of words. It's pretty easy here. So how can we paraphrase that? Change the structure. The line graph displays displayed inverse order. Inverse.
So it doesn't really literally, like, we should always start with the chart, or like the charts, or like tables, this illustrates or something like that. We don't really need to start with that one.
No, you
So
should.
there's no.
You should, but I'm just giving you another structure.
Oh, all right. I see.
So displayed. How can you continue here?
Displayed in the line graph.
In the line graph. Next.
Are 4 different recycled materials.
Okay, so that's the structure, right? That's a good structure to use, because you start already with an advanced structure, and it's so easy, right? Isn't it? You can always start with this structure. Displayed, shown, depicted in the diagram. It's always a diagram. No matter what it is, it's a diagram. You can always just use the word diagram.
So can I use like diagram for all,
yeah,
like, line graph, pie charts?
Yes, but yeah, but you can also pretty much interchangeably use chart and graph and whatever information, data. All right, so displays the percentage of 4 different recycled materials in a particular country. Maybe percentages. What do you think?
The line graph displays percentages.
Does it make sense here?
Because there are different, like, materials. Because
the percentage is not for 4. It's each of the materials has its own percentage, right?
Yeah.
So okay, so 4 different recycled materials. Recycled materials. Are you sure you're paraphrasing that right? Recycled materials?
4
Perhaps
different.
Yeah, okay, so you can always think of a way to paraphrase each part, yeah? In a particular country, from within the period of this and that, okay. All right, now we have one thing is missing, right? 4 materials. So the country is not stated, right? What about the materials?
They're, yeah. So can we write them down? Oh.
In the first sentence, you need to specify what is being measured, like percentage, right? Materials.
Yeah, so I can say the percentages of like paper and cardboards, like glass containers,
which
and so on.
are this and this and that, right? You can add that like this
Mm-hmm.
with commas surrounding that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can
Mm,
do
that's
this. It's a good idea to do this because you shouldn't hide that information. Part of
mm-hmm.
the paraphrase to include what, like how it's being measured, like whatever percentages, millions, billions, tens of something, years or whatever, and the type of the graph, line graph, sounds good, and the specifics that are
Mm-hmm.
given. Right. Overall, the figures for paper and cardboard are. Actually, can you send me that picture of the task so we also see it here?
I think it's on the chat site.
It's always good to do it in like in a Google Doc, so it's
Mm-hmm.
easy to share.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, I found it. I think yes. Here we are. Let me put it up top. So here we have the chart. We have the recycling rate, and containers fluctuated over the years. So the figures for paper and cardboard
Mm-hmm.
and for glass
Mm,
fluctuated. Yeah.
actually, like until now, I still kind of like don't know when to use figures and proportions. I mean, I know what they mean, but it's kind of like difficult for me, like when to know how to use them.
Use what?
Like figures, the word figure and
Figure is just
proportion.
a paraphrase of the word number.
Oh, so I
And
can just say it.
well, yeah, and if you need to, like, you're not sure about something, how
Mm-hmm.
to use a word, I strongly recommend a dictionary. We have Collins, Cambridge, and Oxford Learners dictionaries. A proportion. So we have, yeah, like the proportion of one amount to another is the relationship between the two, right?
Mm-hmm.
So have high proportion of fat to water, or something like a higher proportion of one to another. So in this case, you could use it in the overview, right? It sounds better because you don't need to write the specific number. Well, that's it, right? So we have this fourth meaning, third meaning. Okay. Here, you could use it as well. Yeah, you can compare them like that. But I don't like the fluctuation. You see, you have fluctuated.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why it's not that great?
Sorry?
Do you know why it's not great here?
Mm, because fluctuation is not the verb.
No, because
No?
paper and cardboard did fluctuate. So you have one up, one down, one up. Okay, that could count as fluctuation.
Mm-hmm.
But in glass containers, you just have one dip, like
Mm-hmm.
down and then up, and that's it.
Mm,
It's not really a fluctuation, is it?
yeah.
So you could say that the figure, actually the figure also, figure is usually like a number. So we don't have numbers here, we have percentages here,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's better to change that figure to rate, maybe, proportion, yeah?
So the rates.
Percent, rate, proportion, yeah, for, for percentages, not for numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Not raw numbers, just it's percentage. So, and we need to say that, right? So glass containers did not fluctuate.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to say that over the years, while the proportions of, like proportion, is it? So here we have countable, right? The proportions. Proportions of aluminum cans and plastics, which started later, like Started later. It's a little bit ambiguous. You know what that means? How can we make it less ambiguous?
Started. Not really start. So how? How can? I'm not so sure.
Well, we're looking at aluminum cans and
Because
plastic.
we can't really mention like the dates yet, right? Because it's just
Yeah,
an
no details here.
yeah.
But it's just a little bit. Maybe you can think of a better way.
Wait, what are the proportions? But can we use proportions here of aluminum cans and plastic? Can we just grow steadily?
Proportions of aluminum cans and plastics, which started later. So I don't like specifically which started later because you want to make it a little bit clearer here. Rose steadily. Okay.
You can just.
And you can put over the years at the end of the sentence. Rose steadily over the years, like everything over the years, right?
Okay.
Well, the proportion, but I like the sentence structure. You're trying a very advanced structure. We have while and which at the same time. You have some adverbs here like steadily. That's good.
Then is it okay?
Yeah, fluctuated also is at the start of the period or in the first half of the period. Yeah, not second. So you said fluctuated over the years. That's also not true, right? So fluctuated at the start of the period, at the beginning of the period. In the first half, you can use it in the first half. Sounds good. And then which started later. Try again.
Started late. I always don't know what word to use instead of started, I guess.
Would be introduced.
Introduced. Oh, okay.
Which were introduced.
Which were introduced.
Which were introduced later, or which had a delayed start, or which were, yeah, okay, introduced is better. Maybe a little later. It's like somehow I want to see that it's not too far into the period, right? So they were introduced a little early in the period. You could say which didn't began at the start, or which weren't introduced until.
Then can you
A
say
few years
like,
later.
oh yeah, something like that. Like, what was that? Like, while the proportions of cans and aluminum cans and plastics, which were introduced after a few, not really, after a few years. No, I think it's much more. Not really. Is it possible though?
Impossible what again?
Like after a few years.
Must have few, right? It's more than that here, so can't say few.
I know, yeah.
Well, it's all right. We'll keep it this way. If it's confusing, then I mean, if there's no clear alternative to this that is better, then we can keep it like that. But yeah, well, proportions does sound perhaps a bit less fluent.
What did they use? Here.
You could say data instead of proportions.
Data proportions.
Just no proportions. Just say the data for. Yeah.
Okay.
Just proportion sounds a bit off.
the data.
And you could say, instead of, okay, even better, you could say, like, you know, it's called substitution. How can you replace that without
substitution?
Like without saying, without paraphrasing,
The
like those.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of like figures, you have figures first, and you say, while those for aluminum. So those becomes the previous, like the copy of the previous noun. You know how to use it, right?
Yeah.
We'll try. Say the sentence, please, again with the correction. I want you
Okay.
to.
So overall, we don't need to say figures here, right? The proportion.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Okay, for paper and cardboard and for glass containers, fluctuated. Oh, okay. So fluctuated in the first, what was that? Period?
At the beginning of the period, or
At the beginning.
within the first decade?
Okay, at the beginning of the period, while
Yeah, in the first half, yeah, we're talking about fluctuate, and glass containers did not fluctuate, right? So that needs to also be changed.
yeah, right.
Maybe.
So the proportion for paper and cardboard like fluctuated in the beginning of the period, while glass containers, or well, should I add those then?
Well, can we change, like, can we substitute proportions for those here?
Okay. So like the proportion for paper and cardboard fluctuated over the in the beginning of the period, while those
Okay,
of
let's keep figures. Okay, I think it's okay
those
here.
figure.
All right, let's keep figures. So figures for paper, while those for aluminum cans and plastic, which were introduced within the first, later within the first decade of the period, rose steadily. Okay. And what else? Climbed. Oh yeah. We could say rose in a steady trend.
Oh.
Rose in a steady trend. But now, the biggest issue here with the overview, I've noticed just now, is that you are starting with a minor detail, not a big detail. Like, you need to start with something more prominent. You're talking about fluctuations of 2 lines here, which is only like half of the period. As I've mentioned before, we need to start with something more
like
noticeable. Like everything rose. Remember, I told you, like compared to, like that's one thing compared to the start, compared to where each rate started. Everything else, like compared to where it started, it all rose at the end, right? By the end of the period, everything saw an increase. Everything experienced every recycling rate. Every recycling rate experienced an increase, right?
Great. Recycling. Great.
So you need to start with something more significant there. Or you can mention that, for example, paper and cardboard always stayed above the rest. And plastics were always the lowest figure. You can mention that too. So those are important things to say, not the fluctuations, right? So check the importance of data for the overview before you before you start writing, because you started with something not important and also wrong a little bit.
Okay.
And you're saying only, and it's so strange that you said it fluctuated, and only you are saying only aluminum and plastics rose. So you are not even saying that glass and paper rose. They did rise, like essentially. However, you can mention that paper did see a decline, even though it rose significantly. It peaked in the middle period. It declined later. You can even mention that in the overview at the end. But first, you mention everything that concerns the most data, right?
Okay. So it's like in the first sentence, I can write like the thing that is very noticeable, and then maybe I would add extra details like
Well,
it's.
you pick, yeah, start with the biggest, then
Mhm,
smaller and smaller, and so on.
mhm.
Or at the very least, if you don't have time, if you're running out of time, just keep that one biggest detail. Like everything kind of rose.
Okay.
Everything ended at a higher figure than compared to the start. Yeah.
Okay.
And I've checked, yeah, figure, well, normally, yeah, we use it with numbers, but apparently it's okay with percentages as well. Yeah, so you can use figure with percentages. So the overview needs to be better. You understand that? Do you have any questions about that?
No, nothing. It's all
And
clear.
I see that it seems like a little bit too much here. We need to summarize the main information, right? We have the task is to summarize reporting the main features,
Mm-hmm.
not everything. So if you find yourself
Mm-hmm.
writing a bit too much, then you probably shouldn't, and you should just choose the most interesting parts, like the biggest increases,
Mm-hmm.
most noticeable, interesting things where like things cross or repeat or like they're similar, right? Interesting features.
Okay.
And you choose how to separate, right? So here you're separating by paper and cardboard and glass materials were both recycled. However, paper and cardboard were more recycled. How can you say that in other words?
Like the sentence.
More recycled sounds off.
Mm. So should I change like should I use another term
Well,
or
try it. Yeah, what else can you say?
like not really disposed to? So they were. Can I say used? Not really used. What's a synonym for recycled?
We can always check our key vocabulary in thesauruses, like
Mm-hmm.
dictionaries of synonyms. You can use AI for that, of course, just to specify. But here we have recycle, right? Reuse is similar. Yeah, we have reuse or let's say salvage. Maybe not the best here. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we have a lot of we have a lot of thesaurus websites. Merriam thesaurus. You can check in several of them.
Okay. Cycle.
And after you finish writing, you check the key vocabulary that can be paraphrased, that should be paraphrased, things that are.
What they said here.
You can use AI for this. Simply, you just put your essay into AI and ask for paraphrases. Like you can ask what things are repeated here often that are easy to paraphrase. Well, I prefer dictionaries, but you can do the way you like. Well, reuse, I guess, reprocess. Yeah, this one I was looking for. So reprocessed is perfect here. It's a good paraphrase. I had forgotten it, but now I looked it up and I see it. I remember it now. Reprocessed and reused. Those are.
There's also repurposed here. I think it's good. Repurposed.
Yes, that's well, I'm not sure. Repurposed. It's like I think it has a bit of a different meaning. Wait, where's the thesaurus? Well, okay, not sure about repurpose. Give it a new purpose.
So usually reprocessed or
Yeah, maybe not.
okay. Yeah. Nowadays I'm trying to learn
If you think
vocabulary.
about it, of course, like there's a new purpose for the recycled materials. It could be not maybe the same purpose. Like you recycle like plastic or glass bottles and you make new glass bottles out of them. So it's not really repurposed. It's the same purpose, right?
Well, I think they use it to make other materials, I guess.
Yeah, but we don't know that. I mean, we don't know for sure that it's like, it didn't say that it started differently and ended differently, right? So repurpose might not be even, just might not be accurate simply, right? So we avoid that. Okay, so we have, the problem here is not more recycled, but recycled more. It's about
sorry. All right. Yeah. However,
but I don't want to give you an answer immediately. I want you to brainstorm it on your own, because if you spot it yourself, then, well, I do a better job of teaching, because you'll retain that more instead of me correcting it. Yeah. So we have, however, yeah. So we have starting at 65.
Okay. So, however, paper and cardboard were. Maybe I should exclude more, or should I?
Starting, you need a year here. Where's the year? Starting, you have in 1986, a bit too far. You need to put it within starting, yeah? Include the year earlier. For example, starting in, at, yeah? Starting in the year, or even better, after however, in 1986, were recycled more than glass containers, something starting at 65. And like, also confusing here, you have paper and cardboard versus glass containers. You have two lines, right? And you are saying starting at 65. Which one of them started at 65?
Oh, I guess so. It's not very clear.
So which one? Can you tell me which one started? Like, looking at this writing, can you tell me which 65, like which of them does 65% refer to?
I think I was talking about the paper and cardboard, I guess.
Okay, let's see. Paper and cardboard. Okay, that's true. But we need to see, it's confusing. And if it's confusing, your score plummets. Yeah. Slowly. Okay, it doesn't plummet, but it goes down slowly, yeah?
Okay. Slow down grudge. Oh, sorry, did you ask me a question?
No. I'm just looking at it. I'm thinking of a better version for you. And I'm thinking that maybe... But when we have two things, you can say both paper and cardboard and glass containers.
Yeah, I think I need to rewrite this one. And then
actually, I don't like this start, because you are missing data. Or it should be one sentence instead of however being a new sentence. It should be the same. And you shouldn't repeat so much. You have paper and cardboard, and immediately paper and cardboard again. It's difficult to read. So you make it one sentence. Like, the first sentence is too short, and it's not great for, like, why are you even saying that? Like, on second thought, I'm looking at it, it's just like, why are you even saying that they were recycled in 1982? That's not even good for overview, and it's terrible for the body paragraph. In body paragraph, you simply report interesting features, right? With data, year data everywhere, and a longer sentence where things are compared and something interesting, yeah? So you have more freedom here, right? So I feel like you put too much pressure on yourself by trying to report everything. Yeah, you don't really need to do that. You can report interesting things, interesting features. Well, okay, starting points are interesting, ending points are interesting, the biggest changes, some sort of fluctuations, things going down together or up together, like biggest rise, things like that. Yeah, that's important. Yeah. And be very clear, like double check. Is it clear, or is it a bit confusing? With a small increase to 7%. Okay, yeah. So yeah. What else? Well, yeah. If you say, yeah, okay, yeah, studying it, paper and cardboard, or recycled more. You can put starting right after paper and cardboard. You have paper and cardboard, comma, which started at 65, or at 65, or starting at 65. Yeah.
Okay.
Recycled more than glass containers, which started at this, right? So you can put that specifying clause right after each of them. Is it clear, or do you want me to write it out for you?
Yeah, maybe just write it up there. So if like in case I will forget.
So we have put the data right after the, what is it? The name of the, how can we generalize here? So let me see, how can I create a rule for you? So paper and cardboard, after the item then, yeah. So after put the data right after the name of the item in the list, like this, right? So glass containers, which started at, and let's say paper, which started at, well, you can paraphrase which started at, and just so it's clear here, right? This is one way to do it. Is it clear or not?
It's clear.
All right. With a small increase to, but overall it's not too bad. Okay, so the second sentence is generally okay. Just the biggest issue is with the more. Like you could actually keep it the same way if you just move the recycled, I mean, change it to recycled more. But it's always better to be a bit more specific.
Okay.
So,
I think I have to do it again later.
you said they decreased instead of they decreased. What can we say? So you're talking about paper and cardboard, or who's they?
To decrease to be.
Unclear.
I think
So,
it's paper and cardboard.
so who's they? Can you tell me?
I think I'm talking about. Oh, yeah. I think paper and cardboard, but sort of.
Paper and cardboard.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's true. But they should be this figure. This
Is
this
it because
percentage.
paper and cardboard is considered as one?
Well, we are talking about, we care about the figure, not about the whatever it
Specific.
is, the name, right?
Okay.
The
So this
figure fell or decreased. Instead of again, you could say back. Figure fell back to, or decreased back to, not again.
I think I wrote. Where was that?
You wrote again, 65 again. See that?
Yeah.
So back to sounds better.
I think I found like a good vocabulary for that. I forgot what is it.
Also, what do you mean?
Oh, because nowadays I'm trying to learn more vocabulary for how to kind of like write this task. So I think where did I write it? There's also like something like this where it started back to the same number, but I forgot where I wrote it. But it's kind of like started. Yeah, later. Sorry, where did I write it?
Instead of then this figure, you could say this figure then decreased gradually or declined gradually. I like that soared to 80%. That was good. Gradually declined from 80% in to 70. Okay. Glass containers started at. You can always add that. On the other hand, I also don't see a full stop there. Like I see a floating full stop after 2010.
Oh, yeah, it's
So
just.
careful with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could say, so then as for glass containers, the figure for, or as for, well, maybe while, or on the other hand, glass containers started at 50%, but then dropped sharply to 40%. Yeah. Despite this, okay, good. The figure then rose to about. Continue to increase gradually. Well, okay, everything else is fine. It's just at the start some issues. Loom counts were first recycled in at only 5, but then Not or first recite. Well, okay, first recite. No, actually, yeah, that makes sense. Right? You could say started like the process began in this process of the reprocessing process. No, like the recycling process of aluminum cans began in the year of this and that, and then but then this figure rose steadily over the years and reached. So you have a good sentence here, but the problem with that is that it doesn't compare anything to anything. Yeah. So always try to include comparisons.
Okay.
Here you have like plastics, for example. You can somehow maybe fit them into one sentence. But okay, like overall, this sentence about the aluminum cans is kind of perfect. There's not really no issues with it. And so you've reported the data. Okay, that's fine. But the level above that is always to compare on top. Yeah?
Okay.
Plastics were not widely recycled. That's not important to include. So always check your data for relevance. You need data only. Were not widely recycled. That's like for task 2, not task 1. What else? As they were first recorded, just say their first appearance, or like appearance of recycling, right? Somehow you can paraphrase that, or that they were first recorded to be, or their the process of recycling of which was recorded, was first recorded in 1999, or the process of recycling of which, somehow like that, because they were recorded. What does that even mean? Like plastics were recorded? What does that mean? Like doesn't have that action here. What's happening, right? So you need that recycling somehow, the action. Is it clear?
Yeah.
At less than 5%. Well, you've been using numbers everywhere and suddenly it's words. A bit weird. Yeah, so keep it numbers then.
Okay.
At less than 5%, yeah. And then you can definitely combine those two sentences. Like you have 3 sentences in this paragraph. The last 2 can be combined into one. Yeah? They showed the most stable trend. Again, not they, but the number, the figure, the rate, the percentage, right? The proportions show the most stable trend, rising slowly to just under. Okay, so overall, I like that. The way you like conveyed the meaning. The meaning is great, but you should combine it into one longer sentence and no they. Yeah, there. Overall, it's actually better than I thought. Yeah, it's pretty good. Well done. You can keep working on it. The best part is that I like your structure. So the structure is what you teach to the student. Yeah. And you can always prepare with model answers before the lesson. Grab a model answer for yourself. You don't need to write it yourself. You can even find online, there's plenty of good model answers, but of course it's better to write it yourself because you will use the structure to teach. You can maybe, I don't know, ask AI for help if you are struggling with specific vocabulary problems, or look up in the dictionary some of the vocabulary. But what I can tell you is I like your structure, and you've nailed it. You just have these regular issues that some students have at the start, but the more you write, the more it will go away. It's just like your first essay, pretty much. So you need to write more and try different structures, right? I mean, different tasks. You don't need to rewrite this one anymore. Let's move on to the next one. I can give you more. But now, yeah, actually, we could take a look at the second task here. That one is here, right? So you have this. Task will be secondary, much easier actually. And here you have it. Yeah, so I want you to take a look at it at home.
Can you please include like the thing like summarize?
Of course, it's here. You mean that part?
Please. Yeah, that part.
So it's always the same. Always the same. You need to only choose the important information. That's part. That's the task. Like if you start talking about everything one by one, that's not what you need to do.
Okay.
You select 2, 3, 4 things and talk about them. Yeah. Now we can take a look at task 2 here. So can you read it for me?
Learning English at school is often seen as more important than learning local languages. If these are not taught, many are at risk of dying out. In your opinion, is it important for everyone to learn English? Should we try to ensure the survival of local languages? And if so, how?
So we have two questions here. And as usual, we just start with a structure. So the structure for task 2, I want you to tell me if possible.
All right. So I think first is like the introduction. Is it, I'm not sure, is it like where you paraphrase like the question itself? Okay, and then I think next would be like 2 body paragraphs.
So we have the
Introduction.
right? Paragraphs. Introduction.
Is it like the paraphrased question?
We'll talk about later what's
all right.
inside of that, right? So just the
And then,
paragraph.
sorry, excuse me. And then next would be like the body.
Body 1.
Yeah, body 2 body paragraphs, and
Body 2, and then potentially body
Yeah.
3. This is rare, yeah?
okay, and then conclusion.
That's it, yeah?
Yes.
Most of the time we don't have the third body paragraph to the point that we can even do this.
Oh, okay.
It's so rare. I'll show you in which cases. So this is what we need. And then for introduction, we have also usually 2 sentences similar, right? Sentence 1 is about, paraphrase the rubric, which is the first part here, right? This whole thing. Try to put it into 1 sentence, yeah, if possible, because that will make a long sentence, should allow you to use some structures. And sentence 2 is the thesis, the direct answer to the questions. Questions, yeah. Could be many questions, like here we have 2, but sometimes it could be just 1 to the question, or task. Sometimes it's not a question, it's just a task, like do this or describe this or compare this or something, like a task. It's not phrased as a question. So ideally it's 2 sentences, but here
usually is it there are only 2 sentences?
I mean, that would be perfect.
Okay.
So it's the same as in task 1, right? The very long sentences that you know how to structure well, that would be perfect. But if not possible, well, you could the sentences could be, or let's say that there could be more sentences in each part, right? So let's say like this, part 1, sentence 1, part 2, sentence 2, yeah. So basically, ideally 1 sentence per part, but could be more than 1, yeah. So it could be like sentence 1, 2, or here sentence like 2, 3. I mean, like also 2 sentences per part, yeah.
Okay.
Like this, let's say 1 sentence, so it's less confusing, yeah. 1 sentence. Is it clear now?
Yes.
Questions?
Nothing.
And then in the body, a thesis is very important, right? So thesis should be very clear. So the direct answer should be very clear. Yeah, as clear as possible, like as direct as possible, right? So that is no maybes there, right?
Okay.
Avoid unclear language, unclear or vague language.
So the thesis that you're talking about here is like the second sentence in
Yes.
Okay.
So the thesis is basically the direct answer to the question. Yeah, it's the same thing. Which is the direct answer to the question. Or the questions.
Okay.
And for sides, Yeah, and then like this, for when you are asked to pick a side, choose only one side, or go 50-50.
Okay.
This means never pick like 70-30 or 60-40 or any other kind of choice. Yeah.
So is it like I can answer like it depends on the situation, or like when 50-50? For example, when I answer 50-50, so can I say?
You shouldn't. It's only when you cannot go 100%. 100% is the best.
Okay, all right. But let's say, just for example, like if let's say I can't really, choose a side, so can I say in the body like it's?
You have to
I
be
have.
50% equal. For 50-50, it has to be like use the word equal here. Equal in some way here, right? So for 50-50, you have to say equal.
Okay.
That
Equal.
you will not write 50-50. You will just say equal somehow. Yeah. But it's easier to just pick one side.
Okay.
And for body, we have what do we start with?
Is it like your topic, like your first topic that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, like
Then,
in general, what do we write here in body one? Sentence one, we have the topic sentence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sentence one is the topic sentence.
Okay.
Refers back to the thesis, or like connects, not refers, but connects back to the thesis. So it needs to be like the mirror, right? And like the rest of the paragraph should connect back to this topic sentence.
Okay. So yeah, so it's like I should write like the topic sentence, and then I'm gonna explain my answer, or if I can, I would give some examples, something like that.
Again?
I mean, for this first body paragraph, so is it like first I would write like a topic sentence, and then I can explain why I answered that way, or if possible, I can give examples.
Within the first sentence.
I mean, like in the body. Sorry.
But that's what we're doing now. We have sentence one, sentence two. Yeah.
Okay.
Sentence one could be short. Topic sentence, very clear. It's the key here.
Okay.
The same as thesis. They should be very clear, right there. And then clear, direct. And then sentence two can be an explanation of your point made in the topic sentence. Yeah.
Okay.
So sentence two is an explanation. Sentence three could be like further explanation into like so you start general, general explanation, and then you can be more specific by giving an example of what you mean. Only general, no personal examples. So no uncle or parents or friends, just people in general, right? People in general of what you mean. And then could be sentence four could be a comment, like let's say your personal your view of the situation. Comment. Your comment, personal comment of the example situation. Like what do you think about that? Yeah.
Okay.
Should be different from conclusion. So this is not conclusion. This is just your view of the situation. But in general, so sentence 2, 3, 4, they are actually Here you can be creative. So the following structure is optional.
Okay.
So you can just like look at it like this, right? You have the topic sentence, a very clear topic sentence, and the rest of the body paragraph needs to clearly connect to it.
Okay.
And the way you write it, it doesn't. This is where you can be creative. Very creative, yeah. So you can you don't have to like follow the explanation, example, comment structure. But if you teach that to someone who doesn't know anything or they are completely scared to write, you can give them the structure. But better to just be creative.
Okay.
Like write the way you like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I'm more of like a systematic writer when it comes to this. So
This is more mechanical. This is like worse writing. If you force your student, or if you force yourself to write like this, if you force your student to write like this, it might end up being worse than if you just give yourself freedom to write the way you like, because it becomes unnatural suddenly. It's the same as in speaking. If you teach rigid, strict structures, that will reduce fluency and will not give anyone a chance to get anything higher than 6, right? Usually, unless they're like yeah, you can't. So structure is for like guaranteed like band 5 or 6 or something, you know, or maybe 6.5 if they're really good. But usually at that level, you just move beyond the structures already. I mean, it's like a question for you, right? Like here, should we try to ensure the survival of local languages? Do you really need like explanation, example, comment structure to answer this? You can just speak freely, right? So you don't need that structure, but it's for people who are not who are scared and don't know what to write and they completely get stuck, right? So if a person doesn't understand, like just answer the question, right? If they don't understand that, then well, you give them the structure, right? So first, I recommend not giving this to the student and just teaching them to write a very clear topic sentence and then seeing how they explain that. Yeah. If it sounds already good, if they manage to write enough, then you don't need to introduce this complication, right?
okay. This I have like one question just to be clear, because this one, like let's say for example sentence 1, let's say a very clear topic sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah, so well, I understand like you said like you connect it to the thesis. How about like the rest of the body paragraph should connect back to
I just said it. The rest of the body paragraph should connect back to this topic sentence.
So this one is like in one sentence as well?
What do you mean?
Oh, because like for sentence 1, you kind of said like I should write like a clear topic sentence, right?
Yeah.
And then should I include the rest of the body paragraph? Ah, okay, okay. I think I get it. So you're talking about not this sentence, but the rest of the body paragraph itself.
Yeah, the rest is
Okay, sorry.
the rest of the body paragraph
Okay.
of this body paragraph should connect back to the topic sentence.
Okay, so
This is
it's not
very important.
really it's not really included to the first sentence.
Included in.
In It's
Not,
not included
we don't
in.
say include to, we say include in.
Okay,
Right?
included
So included in. Yeah, so we have about 4 sentences, and each sentence is long, right? So if they are tiny, short sentences, you will not have enough words, right?
Okay,
So basically not short, but we say simple versus complex, right? So complex, compound sentences, that's what you need there.
okay.
So that's why it's in some cases it's better to teach the structure for students who get stuck with ideas or simply write in very short sentences. You teach the structure because that way they are forced to only write 4 sentences, and that means each sentence has to be longer.
Okay.
So for example, if you have like 6 simple sentences here, when they write creatively, that's not good. You should always combine that, like your own writing in task 2. In task 1, I've seen you can combine some parts into a longer sentence. That's a basic skill. It's not too hard. So body 2, is there any difference between body 2 and 1?
Oh, sorry.
Is there any difference between body 1 and 2 in the way you write?
Not really.
Yeah, so it's the same, but it's like this. So here we have 2 questions, right? and each question goes into its own paragraph.
Okay.
Right?
So for the body 1, I will answer the first question, and then for the body 2, I would
Yeah.
answer the second. Okay.
Yeah. So answer each of the task questions
Mhm.
in a separate paragraph here. This is for this specific structure of several questions. Yeah.
Okay. Just for this. How about if
Yeah.
there's only like one question?
Well, yeah, it's still 2 body paragraphs. Usually it asks you like, do advantages outweigh the disadvantages?
Mm, I see.
In that case, as I've mentioned, here, when you have to pick,
Mm-hmm.
pick a side, right? Pick a side means like pick
100%.
like advantages or disadvantages, like this, advantages, disadvantages, etc. Then you choose one side. So for example, you could say there are only advantages or only disadvantages to this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then you pick one thing for like one advantage to talk about for body 1 and one advantage for body 2. Yeah.
Okay.
Planning is important, right? So before using the structure, you need to teach the student to plan for about 5 minutes first. So you do it yourself. Pick only the ideas that you can expand into the whole body paragraph. So think ahead, yeah? Think ahead. Like not just don't start writing first. Plan out what is it going to be, your body first, body second, yeah? What's going to be the idea? And think about that idea. Like, is that idea you can expand? Or is that idea that it gets stuck within the first sentence and that's it, right?
I understand. Though, like usually, like for example, the student can't really come up easily with the answers or like what to write. How can I help them, kind of think faster?
They need to write more. The more they write, the
Oh,
easier it will become. At first, if they get stuck, you help them at first. Well, you have to be patient, give them hints, push them. Don't give them the answer immediately, right? Push them to find their own, like, and make it as simple as possible. Show it to them that it's so easy. Part 3 in speaking and task 2 in writing, the ideas are super simple. It's like if you have been alive, you should have an answer in your head. Like if you have lived for like more than, let's say 13 years in your life, if you have actually, like haven't been in a coma, then you should be able to come up with ideas because it's just about life. It's like, it's not about English. It's super simple. Like show them that, like push them into the simplest solutions possible. The easier their idea, the better. Always. It's something ultra simple, instant answers. Like you don't even need to think much. Like, for example, in your opinion, is it important for everyone to learn English? What's the instant answer?
yes.
Well, that's it. And don't need to think further. Waste time. Should we try to ensure survival of local languages?
I think yes.
And how?
Like practice it, like every day.
That's
I
it,
mean, like
done. Yeah, you don't need to think further. You're done. And now we have conclusion. The conclusion is what? We have
I'm sorry, proceed.
no new information at all. Yeah, so forbidden to add that. Yeah, it's forbidden to add that. Nothing new. If there's some new information that hasn't been mentioned before, that is terrible. Yeah, so you have this. Here's your essay, and the conclusion only repeats, right? So reiterate, repeat, paraphrase, whatever you call it, the main points made in the body paragraph. In the body paragraphs.
Can I include like maybe opinion at the end of the sentence as well?
What opinion?
Like for example, like in my opinion, I think people should do something like this and that, like that. Can I include it? Like what I think.
As long as no, you can. It literally says here, no new information at all. Is that opinion new information, or is it a copy of the previous information?
Let's say, for example, because you said I can give like my own opinion up there. So I will just like kind of like say it again, just or maybe no.
You
No
have
need.
to reiterate that. That's the only thing you have to do in the conclusion.
Okay, all right.
Conclusion doesn't have a specific set of sentences or anything. It could be, one, could be three, whatever. It's just, well, again, better to write longer sentences than shorter ones, but okay, whatever. Conclusion doesn't need you don't need to spend much time on it. Just reiterate. So this is the place where we paraphrase, like where you show your paraphrase skill. Actually, it's like this. We have the thesis, right? So this is your direct answer, yeah? So you already have the answer to the questions in the thesis, right?
Yeah.
Then you paraphrase that for the topic a little bit, usually paraphrase that. Then the other part, you paraphrase it as well. Not the first part, the second part. You usually have like 2 points in the thesis, right? The first point is paraphrased in the first body paragraph, and the second point is paraphrased in the where?
Second
In the
paragraph.
second body paragraph, right? And then so that's the first paraphrase, and the second paraphrase goes into the conclusion. Yeah. So you really need to know how to paraphrase. Plus, you also paraphrase at the very start, right? You start with paraphrase, you paraphrase the introduction, right?
Yeah.
And then you end with paraphrase, but this way you here you paraphrase your ideas. So paraphrasing is important. You need to teach them to use synonyms, to use thesauruses, like the dictionaries of synonyms. Teach them to use that. Well, these days it's simpler. You can ask AI to just give you synonyms of everything, yeah? So sentences or ideas or this and that, yeah?
Yeah, that's what I always tell Zoom actually, to always like look for, like synonyms, because he always like uses the same words again. By the way, like in the body paragraphs, should I always include like, in my opinion, or like I think, to show that it's, I'm talking about just my opinion and it doesn't really matter?
I don't quite understand what that means, but I mean, yeah. How can you express someone else's opinion?
No. Or I think I would just, just say like, or talk about just my opinion overall.
Like, I guess you can actually express someone else's opinion. You can say other people. Some people say this, some others say this. It could be like, yeah, you don't have to say I think. That's a good question, because you can say in the first body paragraph, you could say some people think this, like this. Others think that. But it actually depends on the task. You just need to read it. So here it says, in your opinion. So then you need to show your opinion. If you start saying like what I just did, some people think that this is that, and this, and then you continue that thought without ever saying that it's your opinion, then it's wrong then, yeah, because you should just follow the task.
Yeah, so it's always just look at the task.
Read the task, yeah, and then, well, here, for example, it doesn't ask you for your opinion anymore. So here you can say like, it is widely believed that we should do this. So in that case, you don't even need to say my opinion. Basically, follow what it says. Part of the test is to check if you can follow instructions.
Okay.
Task 1, task 2, yeah.
Yes.
The instructions are very clear.
Right. Though, for example, if I write like, so it is widely believed to, let's say, like use kind of like local languages to ensure its survival, just for example. And then maybe I would add like my opinion after that. It's so, like, in my opinion, I think people should do it like this and that to make sure these languages won't go extinct or something.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But the structure, you just need to go through it yourself several times, or just see your student go through it. You might not even need to write much. You just see your student follow the structure, and you like correct the student if they go off course, right? Off course, they go somewhere in the wrong direction. They aren't following the structure. You just make them return. So you just need to study the structure. You might not even need to write yourself, but writing helps a little. It's good, but not that important. So not crucial. So now with this information and what you've learned about task 1, you can already teach task 1 and task 2. And especially at the level the student is at right now, you don't even need all of this. You just need fractions of this information to help him, right? And if you follow this word for word, then he can easily get band 7 without even you writing it yourself too much. Yeah.
Well, actually, I just do it for myself mostly. I honestly.
Then write it. Yeah, show me what you can do. And remember, timing is like goes without question, without even discussion. You just have to do it. And in the class, don't make him write in the class unless he doesn't know how to follow at home, like the timing. In that case, you can force him to write within a certain time in the class.
Okay.
And then there's the website IELTSonlinetests.com. That one gives you a timer and you can't extend it.
IELTS.
IELTSonlinetests.com. So here you have the writing that is timed for you in the exam library. So they can just write that with already a timer, and they will not be able to, the student can't go over the limit.
Okay.
But they can choose how much time they spend on task 1 versus task 2. So it should be 20-40. They can choose 30-30. So you should advise them to not do that. Yeah, just pick what it says, like 20 for task 1, 40 for task 2. But another problem here is if you give them a link to a test, yeah, they have to write within 40 and 20 minutes, like 1 hour in total. But then they can just redo it. You know, they do it once, they fail, and then they do it again. So I mean, better to give them a specific time when they're going to do this. Ask them to send you the finished work at a specific time, like you agree together, right? So on this day, at this time, you're going to write, and as soon as you finish writing, I expect the link to be there at in my Zalo or something, yeah. Or in there.
Like, sorry, one last thing. Like, actually, like I've heard, like some people would give themselves for task 1, they would give themselves like 15 minutes to practice writing.
Well, that's good because you need to count as well the words. You need to check everything and make sure it works. So of course, it's better to finish earlier if possible.
Okay.
This structure is for 2 body paragraphs, right? For 3. So like it's called discuss both opinions and give your personal view on the situation, right? Something like this. So for this, we can use 3 paragraphs.
Discuss both. So should I use like the same thought as the first?
Okay, it's pretty much the same, but you have to use 3 body paragraphs because it literally asks you discuss both opinions. You can try to discuss them in 1 paragraph, but it's unclear. So it's better to have a separate paragraph for each opinion and then personal view in the end, right?
Okay, discuss both.
So each of these obviously requires a separate paragraph, each opinion and your personal view. So you use 3 body paragraphs here. This means each paragraph is shorter. So it's actually even easier than the other structure because you just need like 3 sentences that are longer or something simple. Yeah.
So this one is the optional paragraph 3.
Well, it's not optional. You have to do it here.
I have
here. It's like there are, let's say, 5, 6, 7 types of task 2, and all the other types are the same, but this one is different. This one is just different.
Okay.
The other types, they're all pretty much identical in the structure. The structure is pretty much the same, but approaches to how you would write the topic sentences in the paragraphs, those are a little bit different. So, but it's easy to figure out on the go. It's actually interesting. So I'm sure you'll find it interesting to figure out how to apply this structure to your student and to your writing, and you can make changes to the structure. So if you notice, like if you do it like many times, or if you like think hard, and you can adjust some parts and improve on this structure too. It's not like too rigid, but it's for now better to just follow it. Yeah, just study the structure, ask me more questions if something is unclear. Make a list, but better like this, like go over this again in your free time, then make a list of questions on paper for me or in a text form, and just send all of them in one go so I can answer them.
Okay.
And for your homework, I would like you to, of course, do this at home and finish writing this yourself.
Yeah.
And you also have this to try to write again. And then we can try another type of task 1, for example, a process, which is even easier, or a table, which is, again, they're all kind of similar. You just need to know the structures, how to apply, how to be flexible to apply the structures to different types of tasks. But in reality, it's all pretty straightforward. And it's designed for teenagers, right? IELTS. IELTS is pretty much designed, academic IELTS is for, like, not really people who are that experienced, right? So it's already designed to be simple. So don't overthink it.
Yeah. I I think I just find it hard to put, I mean, like, when, for example, when I look at the data, it's hard for me to put them into words, actually. Like, I mean, I know how it works, and I understand the data itself, but it's just difficult for me to write it in words.
Yeah, I understand. Well, just need to practice more, less thinking, more writing. When the student is stuck, you just put the pen in their hand and ask them to start writing without thinking too much.
Okay.
So that's it then. I'm going to send it to you.
Okay.